Residents of a community in Benin City, the Edo State capital, battling with erosion and gullies, are appealing for government's intervention. The erosion, which has created deep gullies in different parts of the community, has also reached the upper Mission Road extension outside the community. The Edo State Commissioner for Environment and Sustainability has given assurances that the government is taking steps to resolve the gully problems.
The poles with the red cloth attached are designed to keep people, especially visitors to Temboga community in Benin City, the Edo State capital, from ending up in this gully, which has taken over a large section of the area.
This road, it has been here for long. When the rain falls now, I think you can imagine see this one. It's from the Lucky Way side. As the rain falls, there the road come. You go carry all the whole erosion. Then all the dirty way that they put for gutter now, go carry all come here.
The erosion problem in the area has also closed off boundary road between Temboga and nearby Wogwan community. But it's not the only point of devastation from erosion in the community, as this other gully has ignored borders between itself and residents' homes.
We asked them to take this gutter to the river. They refused to do it. But small time the gully starts. We report, nobody responds. So you can see this house now, one room have already collapsed.
Still, the threat continues, pushing to the major road, Upper Mission Road extension.
I was the one that put this tire here because of the accident, so that people will not run inside this place. So anytime there is rain, nobody cross here, nobody enter our workshop. We run from this workshop, we will go out.
The Edo State government is interested in tackling the Temboga erosion challenge.
Everything that has to do with flood issues, erosion issues, the soil had to be at a particular level for it to deteriorate. So that level makes it difficult for you to start to work. So we need to wait until the dry season, and we're getting there. You know, in a few weeks we should be there, and so we'll take it. It's actually one of the important sites before us that we're taking very seriously.
Although Temboga residents would rather not see their area tagged the neighborhood of gullies, of greater importance to them at this time is safety of their lives. And for this, the call for help is one that is certain to continue until rescue comes. Jessica Olubuse, Channels Television News.
The days of despair and frustration over power supply in Asura complex, Lagos, may be over for good, as more than 1,000 shops are now being powered by the Asura Independent Power Project. Vice President Professor Osinbajo, who commissioned the project, ascribes its success to the FG's resolve to create more impact on the economy. The Asura Independent Power Project is being implemented under the Energizing Economies initiative.
Asura Shopping Complex, once immersed in the many troubles of poor power supply, sings a different song today. Businesses now operate in a quieter and cleaner environment made possible by the federal government Energizing Economies initiative, one of which is the Asura Independent Power Project, being inspected and commissioned by the Vice President, Professor Osinbajo.
And to the glory of God. Amen.
Over 700 electricity generator sets have been decommissioned, and business has since improved for 1,047 shop owners in Asura. This is according to the chairperson of the market union.
For all of us, issues of generator fueling, maintenance, and replacement of parts have become things of the past.
This initiative, targeted at rapid deployment of energy for MSMEs, is being implemented by the federal government Rural Electrification Agency.
Over the next 5 years, we will reach 500,000 small businesses within 350 economic zones.
What has been clear to us at SOLAT is the federal government of Nigeria's determination to partner with private sector developers in driving change in the power space.
From the standpoint of the federal government, this is an attestation to its will to change the power narrative in the country.
37,000 shops in area market are waiting for this opportunity to choose, and they will soon get there. 37 Nigerian universities are also waiting for this opportunity, and the first phase of 9 universities are already underway.
In his remark, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo outlines the panacea to growing the country's economy.
The only way for us to grow our country is to give the hardworking people of our country the facilities to run their businesses. That's why we're going all across the country, to provide the resources that are necessary for our people to actually get to work.
The success of the Asura Independent Power Project shows there are significant prospects in the power space, and it's no doubt a right step towards economic growth. Chris Elamps, Channels Television News.
The Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike believes that the best way to get to the heart of the electorate is to redeem promises made to them. Governor Wike reiterated this during the foundation laying to rebuild the fruit and vegetable market in the state capital, which was gutted by fire. His counterpart from Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi, who was also at the event, says that touching the lives of those who seem hopeless is the way to go in setting a true legacy. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ree reports.
The raging fire that destroyed everything in sight at the fruit and vegetable garden market in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, recently, leaving many of the victims in shock, tears, and anguish. But now, these women roll out the jams. As the state governor, Nyesom Wike, and his colleague from Ebonyi State arrive for the foundation laying for a new market.
What we intend to do here is to build open market stalls and lock-up shops. We're going to be having 4 blocks here. The first 2 blocks at the front will be 1-story structures. Down you will have open stalls. Up you will have lock-up shops.
For the governor, this is in keeping with promises.
I said I was going to rebuild it. I didn't say if I win. Did I say if I win? I have your mandate. You have given me your support. I have no other way, no choice, but to rebuild the market for you.
And then bank drafts of 400,000 naira and other financial gifts are given to the affected victims whose names have been compiled with the aid of the market leadership.
I've come to appreciate the governor of Rivers State. It's a dream come true. And this is the kind of governor we want. A governor that feels the pain of the people. This thing I received today, I thought it wasn't going to come true, but he has made it come true. I will believe as many that he has done this to, we are giving me our next votes in Jesus' name.
So I appreciate the way Furugadi born. My shop there among of the one way born. I appreciate Wike will give me this money. May go back and work in this election.
Thank Governor Wike for bringing me back for this fire. I thank him very much, and I thank BDP also for backing him up.
Apparently impressed Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi performs the ceremony.
With all gratitude to God and the Lord who has laid this in his heart that is building. He will build and commission, and he will partake in it, and he will build much more for the good people of Rivers State. Therefore, lay these foundations in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The project is expected to be completed in 3 months, as the traders may have to make do with the area allocated for their businesses for now. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television live from Lagos. Let's shift our gears now, shall we, to business news with Anwar Odo.
Welcome to Business News. There is a $30 billion deficit locked in Nigeria's oil and gas sector waiting to be exploited. And that's coming from the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Dr. Ibe Kachuku, who is currently in the U.S. wooing investors and businessmen and women to invest in Nigeria. Our correspondent Olu Phillips reports.
When international funds indicate willingness to move into economies, especially in Africa, you want to quickly have a chunk of it, which explains this meeting of critical core international investors with Nigeria's oil minister.
Where's the focus of Nigeria? Because that was the first thing I did wrong. I took what I wanted to sell, but didn't hear what they wanted to buy. And it's something that we really have to be very conscious of when we're doing business on the continent.
He sets the tone by highlighting Nigeria's population advantage, plus opportunities in the Delta, gas to power, infrastructure, refining, and more.
Infrastructure is key. The oil sector alone has an infrastructure deficit of over $30 billion to get us to where we should be. We need to be able to supply gas sufficiently to power the entire country. And if we succeed in doing that over the next 10-year period, we will have a very booming economy. Nigeria still has the strongest economy in Africa, but we could double that. We could become, quite frankly, what America is to the entire American diaspora. We have more gas than we have oil. That's very key, because gas is going to give us the resource to power electricity to our people, resource for industry, and indeed resource for agriculture through petrochemicals. It's obvious that a private sector model to try and place infrastructure in the country is going to be very, very key. Very, very key. Government cannot fund all this, and we have to move away from that model. So we need to get back to tariffing concept, whereby you build roads, you build infrastructure for the oil industry, for whatever industry, and then have tariffs placed so that people can, quite frankly, pay the cost of rental.
Accompanied by heads of agencies in the sector, the minister was put on the spot to answer questions by the investors on sustainability of policy, government after government, naira stability, and other guarantees.
As a very interested investor, I would say that one of the concerns would be that the arrangements that are made now are able to survive other regimes or other presidents come after Mohammed.
If we deal with our border issues, deal with the smuggling issues, firm up on agriculture, firm up on production, because a key determinant of the value of the naira is obviously the sale of oil. When we did 345, we were probably averaging about $50 a barrel. Today is close to $90 a barrel. All the projections that I see until 2019 is probably anywhere between $80 and $100 a barrel, if all tends to remain equal. So the naira probably will firm up closer to the number that we have now, and so be able to be supported. Every policy that we put in place in the 3 years have been gazetted. We've taken it through the Executive Council. We've obtained necessary approvals. Some of them have gone through the legislative arm. Some are still going through the legislative arm. But they have been implanted. Most of the policies I've pursued, whether it is the gas flare policy, are embedded in the regulator. So whether or not I'm there, it should run as a right.
No. It's tomorrow. Economic growth is linked to policies, and for the oil sector, the federal government says it will prioritize on a case-by-case basis the ease of entry and starting business for any willing investor. From Atlanta, Georgia, Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Let's talk about Nigeria's local currency now, the naira. It is expected to maintain stability at the interbank foreign exchange market next week as the central bank continues in its dollar intervention in various segments of the market. The naira remained flat at 262 against the dollar, the parallel market, but it appreciated by 0.05% to 363 naira 40.84 kobo at the investors and exporters forex window. In the meantime, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves, which currently stands at $42.34 billion, has now been on a steady decline in the last 2 weeks after reaching a year high of $47.8 billion on June the 25th. At the equities market, the fourth trading week in the month of October has ended slightly upbeat with a 0.20% rise in the all-share index and a market capitalization from 3 positive sessions this week. In contrast to last week's trading, total turnover of shares rose by nearly 1% to 1.45 billion shares, with 15.26 billion naira and 16,682 transactions. Sectoral activities were mixed, with gains recorded by components of the banking, insurance and the oil and gas sectors against massive profit taken from industrial and consumer goods sectors. Diamond Bank emerged the best price performer out of 26 gainers. MAC Nicholas also topped the list of 40 decliners, while 101 equities remained unchanged. That's business news for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwaudu. It's back to you, Gimba.
Well, still ahead on the news at 10, Nigerian forward Isaac Success and midfielder Wilfred Ndidi score for Watford and Leicester City in the English Premier League. That's the sports news. Stay with us.